have a confession to make. I know this is Staples Day, but 2 days ago, it finally dawned on me. I had an eye appointment early this morning. I'm back. I've got my little shades here that I'm supposed to be wearing, but it's cloudy out. I do wear them when I went outside, but anyway, I'll put them aside. And the good news is when I went, I don't have to have new glasses. They have told me a few years ago that I had cataracts forming. They haven't progressed. They don't need surgery. I've heard that drinking kombucha can help. So I think I'll just drink more kombucha. And also on there, because I'm trying to simplify my life, I only fermented the one time. I'm not doing second fermentations anymore. But so anyway, I showed you this morning about my beans, and then I had to get ready and go. And then because I knew I had to go, I did some cooking already. I have that confession to make, but I am going to do lentils this morning, and so you can see me do that. And I did do this. These are green lentils, and they look sort of brown to me. And I did red lentils the other day, which are a sort of supposed to be sweeter, but anyway, when you cook your lentils, just like your beans, you're going to look to make sure there's no little rocks in there and strange things so far. And I'm going to cook the whole package, which is a pound. So everything I cooked a pound. I did cook already a pound of lentils, a pound of quinoa. I did the white quinoa. I did the lentils. I cooked them in chicken broth. I cooked the quinoa in chicken broth. This morning when I cook these, I'm going to do them in beef bone broth. Okay, I don't see anything, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fill up my, I'm going to rinse them. So now they're going to go into my sieve that's it's not a real fine one, but of course the lentils won't go through. And, whoops, I wondered if that would happen. Okay, so I'm going to go give them a rinse off. Okay, I'm hoping that's good enough. And I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to add 8 cups of fluid in here. I've got some warm behind me, behind the Dutch oven, is some warm beef broth. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to cook it for 22 minutes and see if I can take some out that I might want to make a salad from and put those aside. And then I'm going to cook it a little bit longer, 25 minutes probably at the most, and freeze the rest. Okay, well, I might freeze what I want to make salads out of too, but I'll mark on the packages. But as I made stuff, I have a little freezer notebook, so I know what I've done, and as I use it out, I cross it off, and it helps me keep track of what's in there and what I have available. Okay, so I have made I have 3 containers of brown rice frozen, and in a way, I wish I'd been able to do it a little bit different, because I know each of those containers will make probably 2 meals. So I should have had a smaller container, but I only have so much space, and I wanted to use things that would stack and be efficient with my space. And little jars didn't stack and go in there quite so efficiently. So, but next time I'm going to figure out a way where I can get it in smaller containers, because I know each container I have will do at least 2 meals, and I know that because I am a little bit insulin resistant, I only want 20 20 grams of carbohydrate per meal. And so that is basically a half a cup of everything I've done. And when I cook it into casseroles or soups or salads, of course you're eating other stuff besides that. So I don't quite still know how to measure out, but I keep that half cup in mind. That's good for me. If you're not sensitive, or you're not resistant to insulin, you're sensitive to it, but you're not resistant to it, you can do like 30 grams of carbohydrates, so you could have a little more. Anyway, there's a couple, and then actually I am going to make a soup for today, and I'm going to saute some onions and celery, garlic, I don't have them out here to show, some carrots, and then add the lentils, put them in the lentils and make a soup. And then I want to tell you 2 mistakes not to make that I did. So I've already earlier had a lentil soup, which was very good. That's what I want to do, and mine was a little bit different than this, but the first one. Anyway, when I wanted to make a spice mix for it, so I took my little frying pan. I'll show you. I was going to have it here. And I roasted, I'm going to check on that. Yeah, it's hard for me to see because my eyes have been dilated. Okay, anyway, I roasted up 2 tablespoons of cumin, and then I ground them in my spice grinder. Okay, and then I took 2 tablespoons of coriander. I didn't toast it, I just ground it up. So it was 2 tablespoons of each of those, and then I wanted to put paprika in at a higher proportion. So I was going to put 3 tablespoons. I put in, how did I do that? I put in 2, I'll show you because I think it will be easier for me to get it right. Okay, this is 2 tablespoons, 1/8 of a cup. So 1 each of the coriander and the cumin. Then the paprika I was going to put in 3, and that was the proportion. And here it is, and I mixed it all up, but the first one I did was in this little jar. And so when I went to find the paprika up in my spice thing, I picked up a jar. It didn't have a label on it. And I thought, oh, it's my paprika jar, but it's lost its label. I opened it up, sort of looked like paprika, so I put in 1, 2, 3 of these. Okay, and mix it up, and then put it in. I always use this little spoon. This is my spice spoon. I put in a couple of those into my soup, and as I was getting ready to serve it, I thought I'd taste it to see if it had enough salt and all of that. And it was hot, spicy. And I thought, I didn't put anything spicy in it. Why is it spicy hot? Then it dawned on me, my cayenne that I use on the table used to have a big C on it. But over the years and me handling it and whatnot, it's disappeared. But it's usually on the table, but it was over with my spices. So it had 1, 2, 3 cayennes in this, and I put it in our soup. Tom does not like cayenne. It was really good. It was. I liked it, but of course he couldn't eat it, so I had to fix him something else. So be sure if you make a spice mix, really know what you're putting in it. So anyway, I made the right one. So I've got 2 now. One especially just for me, and one for both of us. Okay, then the other thing that happened, because I wanted a fresh vegetable with this, I went out and picked one of our broccolis, and they are so nice, really nice. And I've got a covering over to keep my pullets from getting up and eating it. So I haven't been too worried about bugs or anything on it. So I got the water hot, I cook it in my steamer. I always just steamer, not boiled. So, and I put the timer on because I only like to cook it a few minutes. And it was done, I put it on the serving dish, and it was over at the table, and I was gonna dish up for Tom and I saw this little pink, about this big, I think it was a larvae of maybe a butterfly or something in there. And I thought, oh my goodness. And I went to get it out, and as I pulled it out, the thing hopped, skipped, and jumped across the table. And I made my little shrieky noise like I do when a mouse runs across the floor, which thankfully I've never seen a mouse in this house. But Tom said, it's dead, it's not going to bite you. But that was my reaction, and it came to rest right by my plate, not in my plate, thankfully. And then I was able to remove it off the table. But I think just the impulses from, you know, it was pretty tight in its space, but when I moved it, those, I don't know, it was awful. And so now I know, look for things in my broccoli. But when I tasted my broccoli, I knew exactly why that little bug or whatever wanted to get in there. It tastes so good. It's so much better than store-bought broccoli. When you go out minutes before you're going to eat it and steam it up, and there it is. So that's my sort of stories and confessions. And while you're not seeing so much of the cooking that I'm doing today, be sure and watch Rinda. And when we decided on this day, it was with my special friend, and I want to tell you that years ago we decided to adopt each other. I'm the mother, she's the daughter. Her name is Renee. She's Soaps for Love. And we talk at least twice a week. Well, at least once a week, and most times twice a week. And once in a while, there'll be something that we just need to say to each other. And she has been a really neat adopted daughter. And so we decided to do this, and she's also making a video, so be sure and watch hers too. It's Soaps for Love. Okay, I'm going to let you go, And I'll probably put back on my little shades, and you have a good day. And thank you.